What's up? ResDip TV back with another video. So yeah, if you read by the title, I'm suspended. I didn't get OSS, but I got in-school suspension. Suspension papers right here. Notice of in-school suspension. You're hereby advised that Gage Copley has been suspended. The reasons for suspension are as follows: possession of tobacco on school grounds in violation of school device policy related to social media. So, yeah, I basically got caught with dip at school. This happened Thursday. During lunchtime. I didn't have a dip in. That's a fly, dead fly on my desk. I didn't have a dip in, but I got caught with it. Basically, I got searched and they found it, and yeah, basically, two papers here, basically saying the same thing, and why I just had to sign, like both of them. Basically had to just sign both the papers saying that I agree as follows, and yeah, so here's how this whole thing went out. Oh, actually, before I go in the store, we gotta pack us a lip. Copenhagen Wintergreen, sexy camo can. And then I'll tell you what happened afterwards, after I got home with my dad and all that. But Copenhagen Wintergreen, if you ain't got one and you have a can sitting around, pack one with me. I just got this like yesterday. Yeah, Saturday, and it's almost fucking empty. Like, alright. I'll tell you the story about how I got this can after I got suspended. But it's actually an amazing story, alright? But, if you wanna, if you're just sitting around, pack a whip with me. Copenhagen Wintergreen. Get a pinch. Cheers. I got fucking on my desk and shit, man. Cheers. Alright. Here's how this whole thing went down. Now, I'm pretty sure I didn't bring my dip to school like that whole week. Yeah, I may have brought it one day that week, and it was that Grizzly Dark Wintergreen that I was telling you about, or my last video, the review. It wasn't that can, because that can was done. Then I sold two cans, which I had. Well, I can't show. I don't have anything to show. I was like, but I had, in the review, I had that can, and then I reached in here and showed you the rest of the cans. I had like 3 other full cans. I sold 2 of them. I said that I had to give one to my buddy, and he gave me like $3 for it, and something else, but I'm not going to specify what he gave to me. Because this is a dipping channel, alright? What he gave to me was not dip. You can probably guess, but I'll leave it to your imagination what it was. And then I sold another can for $7 to this one guy that needed it because he couldn't get it, and he had like $27. He was like, "Here, just take 7." I was like, "Alright." And then I had the other one. Then that's the one that after it had less than, or it had, let's say, half a can, then half of the can. That's how much, like, 1/4 left. And so, yeah, I had that, and it was in my pocket. Normally, I carry it around in my pocket because I had no worries. Like, I have my phone over it, so it's not visible. So, basically, I'm fine. So, it was in my pocket, and we have Chromebooks at school, and Facebook was unblocked. Usually, everything's blocked. Like, our school's really strict. Like, everything's blocked. but for some reason Facebook was unblocked. So of course everyone exploited it and got on Facebook. And I know a lot about computers. I know a lot about computers, and basically, I went to lunch and I was sitting there eating. I had pizza. Sitting there eating the pizza, and the assistant principal, which basically thinks he's the principal of the whole school, like literally he freaking he took over basically the whole school and changed it. Like it's horrible. Like the actual principal. All right, so we'll say the principal or the assistant principal, Mr. Dickhead. All right, and the regular principal, Mrs. Nothing, because she doesn't do anything. So Mr. Dickhead came over to me while I was eating lunch, and he was like, I already said my name on this suspension paper, but if you don't know, my name is Gage. Nice to meet you. But I usually go around with Assurance. That's why I res dip TV, but usually like all my things, like all my games and all that, I'm Assurance. But I have a gaming channel that I like haven't really uploaded on because my computer's shit. But basically, he came to me and he's like, Gage, grab your stuff, grab your lunch, and come to or follow me. I was like, fuck, I'm getting searched. Oh my god. What am I gonna do? It's rushing through my head. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's in my pocket. And I was like, I'm fucked. And he's like, so I grabbed my lunch and I walked around. And I started following him. And basically, I started following him. He's like, go to your locker and go get your hoodie. It might get cold. And I was like, now he's trying to lie to me, so I get my hoodie, so freaking he can search it. Like that's what I was thinking. And basically, I went to my locker, showed him where all my stuff was at, and he didn't look through my locker. But he's like, "What's that metal thing back there?" It was my lock. So I was like, maybe he's gonna search me or something. I like that's what was going through my mind when he said, "Follow me, bring your stuff, or bring your lunch, and go get your hoodie. It might get cold." I was like, "Yep, I'm getting searched. I have dip on me. I'm fucked." So I started following him. Hold on. Gotta move it. It was starting to go all the way back here, and I was like, so I go in my locker. He's like, grab all your stuff and grab a hoodie. It might get cold. And I was like, yep, and I'm getting searched. He told me to get my hoodie just in case. I was like, alright. So I grab my stuff and I grab my hoodie and I go to his office. So while I'm at Mr. Dickhead's office, basically I see Miss Nothing in her, or Mrs. Nothing, because, yeah, in her office, she's sitting there literally doing nothing. She rarely does anything. She literally does nothing. Like occasionally she'll do bus duty and that's about it. I don't even think she'll do announcements once in a blue moon. Like normally he does announcements, or yeah. But I was in Mr. Dickhead's office and he's like, "Let me see your Chromebook," and I was like, "Alright." And he's like, "So I heard you're pretty tech savvy." I thought he said savage, and I was like, "Yep, that's me." But apparently savage and savvy is pretty much the same thing. Savvy means I'm really good at it, and savage means I'm pretty good at it. Like, he's like, "So I heard you want a little tech savvy, and you can get on, like, a private server," and I was like, "No, sir. Nothing from the person sitting across from me, or beside me." And I was like, "You want me to close these tabs or whatever?" Like, I have like Google Docs open and Google Classroom from my other classes. He was like, "No, you can leave them." And I was like, "Alright." And he's like, "Click the bottom right to where like a little icon that shows all the settings." He's like, "Click the Wi-Fi." So I clicked on it. It's like the normal Wi-Fi. I was like, "Alright." And he looked through it, make sure I wasn't on no private network. And he's like, "Alright, go to your history." And I was like, "It's blocked." He's like, "Alright, go to your recents." And I was like, "Alright," and I go to my recents and show him, and Facebook is on my recents. Like, not like on the top, like it was at like the far bottom. If I was on something else, it probably wouldn't show up. And he's like, and he took it and he clicked on Facebook and brought up my Facebook page. And yeah, and then he started looking through my Facebook, and I had like a chat window on like the bottom right open, and he's like, "What's this?" And I was like, "I was talking to this girl." And, like, the last message I sent was like, "Do you want to see it?" Question mark. And she said yes. And he's like, "What does that mean?" Like, maybe you thought like a dick pic or something, but no. It was actually a song that I wrote, and I asked her if she wanted to see it, and she said yeah, but I haven't sent it to her yet. But basically, I was like, yeah, it's a song that I wrote, and then he's like, alright, and then he like clicked on my notification thing, there's nothing on it, and then he clicked on my messages and read through my messages, and this is where I was like, bruh, like seriously? And some loudmouth girl from my school asked me that day, like at 9:03, I remember because he wrote it down. I was like, or no, he went to my my chat thing and started writing down all the people in my like the chat list, and I was like, what? I mean, it's my Facebook. Then he goes through my messages, and this girl asked me at 9:03, asked me, do you have any dip? And he started writing it down. He's like, 9:03, murder name down, and he's like, stand up. He's like, empty out your pockets. And I was like, fuck. I was thinking in my head, motherfucker. And so I was like, alright, I'm not even going to take everything in my pocket, take it out last, or try to hide it. I went right in my pocket, pulled out that Grizzly Dark Wintergreen. Like, here you go, I'm sorry. It's a problem I have. And yeah, and he's like, alright, he takes it. And he took the can. And he tried to twist it and pull it off like this, and he couldn't get it open. It was the funniest thing to watch. I was like, it was legit funny. But, and then he just gave up because he couldn't open it. And he's like, alright. And he's like, so you're gonna get suspended. And he's like, who can I call that's home? And I was like, my dad's at work, so you probably can't get a hold of him. He's like, alright. He's like, I'll call you down and sign suspension papers. He's like, you'll get 3 days in school suspension. Normally it's out of school suspension, but I don't know if it's because I was like, gave it right away and was like, I'm sorry. Or I heard that he's just getting people in school suspension because he knows out of school suspension and what people want. Which is smart, because normally people do dumb shit to get out of school suspension because they don't want to come to school. And he was like, alright, I'll call you down, sign suspension papers. And so I was like, alright. And I went on, and then he called me down. And I told all my teachers, I was like, yeah, so I'm getting suspended, into suspension next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Or Tuesday, yeah. Which will be this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And they're like, why? And I was like, I walked in and I told her, she's like, why? In the middle of all the class, I was like, possession of tobacco, you know, I got caught with dip. And everyone's like, you idiot. Even the dippers are like, started laughing. They probably had, but I say dippers because I know they dip, and freaking normally they have dip on them. But, and so I went on, he called me down. I was like, or before that, whenever I was still in his office, I was like, can you not call my dad, please? Like, don't call home. He's like, I have to. As the administrator, I have to. And he was nice, because I was nice with him, and gave it up right away and said I was sorry. So he's like, I have to as administrator. It's my job. I have to notify them. I was like, alright, do if you have to. And, shit, it's 14:15. Alright, I'll try to hurry up. And basically, this might go 20 minutes. But basically, he called me down, gave me a suspension, or called me down to sign him. The secretary handed me, and she's like, sign this. So I signed it. So I'll give you a copy of it. Copy it, gave it to me, and then I went on the rest of the day. Whenever I got home, he's like, so you want to tell me what happened at school today? And I was like, excuse me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you want to tell me why you got caught with snuff on you? And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, he's like, was it yours? And I was like, yeah, technically. He's like, why? And I was like, because I do it. And he's like, started cussing at me, saying you're going on the wrong fucking path, and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I won't feel no remorse for you if you go to jail because you're down that path. And I was like, what? And then I just walked out of the room after he started, like, yelling at me. Basically, went to the living room, went up to my room, and sat there. It's just like, alright, it's whatever. And then, next day I go to school, everyone thought I was suspended. I was like, no, I got ISS and it starts next week because ISS doesn't run Monday and Friday. And so I get home, I was like, can I go to the park and go fishing? He's like, tell me why I should let you, because I was grounded previous to that because I was out for 2 hours and I was supposed to be back for 30 minutes. And that's whenever I got that log of the Grizzly Dark, whenever, and that was like last Friday. And I was like, because you said I'm grounded for a week and it's Friday. And he's like, yeah, but technically it should be Friday too. And I was like, alright. And I walked back to the living room. And he's like, be home before dark. And I was like, alright. So I get all my fishing stuff, go down there. And I really need nicotine because it was like a day. And I haven't had nicotine in like 2 days. And I was like, just like, so I asked someone for a cigarette. And they're like, yeah. And after that, snapped two of my best freaking lures, or freaking, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Wow, fuck, I was sure I don't pronounce it right, but broke two of them, then I called it a day. And as I was walking by, there's people from my school going to a football game that walked through the park to get there. And there's one guy that's a dipper. He's like, yo, you said you want to fight 6 period, let's fight now. And I was like, damn, I'm going to get in a fight now. And then he walks up on me like he's going to punch me. He's like, don't punch him. He's like, I'm just messing with you. And I was like, yeah, I was kidding. And he's like, I'm just messing with you. I was like, you got a dip, you know. Principal kind of took mine, or assistant principal, Mr. Dickhead. That's not his actual name, if you can't tell, but, and he's like, yeah, you want a camel pouch? You have the freaking, the can, or the 10 of the camel pouch, like the ones that you can swallow. I'm fucking snooze or snus or whatever. And shit, man. My freaking TV. Hold on, I'll be back. I just had to make sure my TV was still on. So I always have some light in front of me. And so I did that, and I just put it up here, back here. And went home after I was done fishing. And basically had it in. I ate. And then I went upstairs. And then the next day, my dad's like, yeah, we'll go fishing at the lake Saturday. I was like, alright. And so he takes me through, like, going through a drive-through to get worms. And he's like, or before that, he's like, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to overlook your little rub snuff or whatever, because, so most, like, not most people, but that's what the older people call it, rub, snuff. Well, I mean, technically it is snuff, but you dip it, so people call it dip. He's like, I'll overlook it and basically let you do it. And he's like, we went through the drive-thru, he's like, do you need one? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, tell me which one. I was just like, get Copenhagen wintergreens, like, and he's like, alright, and he bought it for me. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, I got like a monopoly, like both parents are buying it and let me do it. I was like, hell yes. And basically, we went fishing, and now he lets me do it, and he'll buy it for me, and my mom lets me do it. And I was like, hell yeah. And so basically tomorrow I'll go to school, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I'll serve my in-school suspension, and Friday should be good. And and he also said one condition I don't bring to school at all. He doesn't want to see me get caught with it again. And another condition, he doesn't want me smoking. That's what my mom said. She said she'd rather see me do that than smoke. And I was like, alright. And so yeah, and basically that's how I got suspended, and how now I can dip in both houses and get away with it. But he hasn't told my stepmom about it yet. He's like, don't, or he still calls it snuff, or my god, snuff. He's like, don't do your snuff in front of her until I let her know and inform her. And I was like, all right. Yeah, so basically, it should be good now. I did it in front of him before, like whenever I went fishing and stuff. I did it in the car, did it in front of him, and so now he's pretty much cool with it now. And he probably thought it's like I'm either gonna have to let him do it or he's gonna do it behind my back either way. But yeah, so got suspended. I mean, it's gonna suck in school suspension. Out of school suspension, I probably wouldn't care because I'd sleep in, play video games all night. It would have been a blast, but in school suspension, pretty much gonna be boring. But I heard that she'll let you sleep in there, so that's a plus. And so I got a negative and a con and a pro. The con, I got in school suspension. The pro, my dad lets me dip now. So that was my story. And peace out. I'll see you next time.